Okay. Good evening. Welcome to the Town of Clifton Park Town Board meeting of November 17th. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Stephanie, call the roll.
Councilman Morelli?
Present.
Councilwoman Reed? Present. Councilman Minier?
Here.
Councilwoman Wallet? Here. Supervisor Barrett?
Here, entertain a motion to approve town board meeting minutes of 11/3.
Second.
Okay, discussion? Yes, Stephanie?
Councilman Morelli?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reed? Yes. Councilman Minier?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wallet? Yes. Supervisor Barrett?
Yes, communications and announcements, anybody? Yes, Councilman Minier.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. Before I announce something, share my information, I just wanted to take a moment. And if you look around the room, what can you see? We have one common thing in our mind, that we all are the citizen of Clifton Park, and we all want the betterment of Clifton Park. We love our town. So, however, this morning, on behalf of the new elected members, I issued a press release. I just wanted to explain whatever I wrote in the press release. I'm going to be brief, and then I'll make a couple of remarks. So, on behalf of the new elected official, I announced the formation of transition team as a press release this morning to ensure smooth and well organized transfer of responsibility as the new town board prepares to take office on January 1st, 2026. The transition team will consist of County Supervisor-elect Ram Lalakuta, myself, Zabed Malik, Councilwoman-elect Nancy Bellman, Councilman-elect Maria Frentini, Amish Tennant, and Kevin Weber. Amy was a formal board member, and Kevin Weber, who previously served as the town of Clifton Park attorney from 1987 to 1991. We are glad that he's going to work in the transition team. But I understand change sometimes be confusing. When new corporation undergoes any transition process or merging with another company or take new leadership, they usually form a new transition team. In the government entity, we are doing the same thing. But, however, I want to make sure that all of the employees of Town of Clifton Park should not be concerned or stressed out about it. There will be no changes affecting the civil service employees. And as you know, I've been serving the Town of Clifton Park as a board member for the last 2 years. I have a great experience with every employee I'm working with. They do a great job, and every day they set an example for us. However, there are some additional note on that. non-union employee or non-civil service or appointed employee, as well as individual who currently serving on various board or committee who wish to continue their role are encouraged to submit their resume and letter expressing their desire to continue. Also, all residents who are interested in serving the town, whether through employment, advisory role, community services, are invited to submit the letter of interest and resume on the same email. The email address is cliftonpark2025@gmail.com. Now, here is my few remarks. Basically, I've been working last 2 years, as I mentioned. I have very pleasant experience working with the current team, and I hope the incoming team will do have the same experience, will keep our professionalism, will work together. Does not matter whether you are elected from Democratic Party or Republican Party. It's not the party, it's you are working for the citizen. Because the citizens bring you here, regardless of your personal differences, we have to work together. And again, I'm going to request everybody that in future that we can work together and set an example for town of Clifton Park. As you know, we are the best town in whole New York State. Thank you so much. Oh, by the way, if you have any question, concern, you can ask me during public privilege. Right now, we can continue our session.
Very good. Anyone else?
Can I just make one comment?
Yeah.
Just in response to you, Councilman Minier, specific to the employees, and we've had some conversations. I've stated on many occasions throughout my tenure, and I will continue to state, and I think you acknowledged that in your statement, and I appreciate it. We do have the best employees in the town of Clifton Park from top to bottom, completely dedicated to serving the residents of Clifton Park. It's been an absolute pleasure to work with them. I think you said the same in your statement, and I appreciate that. And I look forward to for them to continue serving, hopefully well into the future.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Yes.
Yes, I would
Councilwoman
like to echo Deputy Supervisor Morelli's sentiments here. We have wonderful employees and volunteers on various town committees that work so hard behind the scenes. They are not paid, they are in volunteer role, and they work so hard for our community. I mean, a perfect example of that, Canal Fest event that we just had. That was a volunteer committee that worked so hard collaboratively to put on a wonderful event for our town. And we've had people serving, we'll learn more about a few of them tonight, and we've had people serving for many, many years. We have people from all walks of life, all experiences, all different backgrounds, all different sides of the political spectrum. I think that it's really important that we work collaboratively and continue to do so. We've never made appointments or denied appointments based on political leanings, and I really hope that continues moving forward. There's no reason that we should deny anyone the chance to get involved. We should be encouraging collaboration and encouraging people to get more involved in their communities. So I hope to see that moving forward. I do have a quick question for you, Councilman Minier. You brought up a good point in a recent meeting about, and before I go on, I will say in the 2 years that you've served with us, it has been a pleasure, and I appreciate everything that you've done. And you brought up a really good point about the safety of the data of residents that were interested in signing up. I believe we were talking about the senior transportation, and you were concerned with how their data would be handled. So I would just like to bring that up in this instance when we're asking people to not go through proper town channels, but to email someone's private Gmail account. That's not going on the town server. So how do you think that will work with protecting people's data? You're asking for people to send their resumes and their experience to a Gmail account that's not connected to the town.
Sure, let me answer that question. Actually, two things. First of all, in terms of the volunteer committee, nobody is going to be declined. If anybody work for the town and they are eager to work for the community, always they're welcome. In terms of data transparency, I'm concerned, and that's why I will echo your concern. Therefore, I'll request that board, the town of Clifton Park, should make a mailbox for us the transition committee, because that transition committee, whoever the elected people, they're going to work here. So if we are so concerned about the data, we should give permission to create a mailbox so people can communicate on that channel. So I do understand your concern, and I would request the board, whether I don't know whether we need a resolution to accept it or not, but that's the best way to tackle it.
And
Thank you.
one more question, because appointments and hiring employees, as you said, is a vote by the board. And since we're talking about collaboration and working together, which I hope that we can continue to do moving forward, will the entire town board have access to all of the email, all of the resumes that are being sent? Can we all share access to that mailbox?
Well, the thing is that since there is a transition committee, is different, right? But if during the transition, whenever they send an email to the transition committee, they're the one making a recommendation. After the recommendation come in, obviously we all got to make a decision. Without the decision, we are not hiring anybody. And one other thing is, I wanted to express that if you look at a glass of water, some people say glass of water is half empty, and some people say it's half full. We can look in different perspective, but the end result is we got to work together, and whenever we nominate someone, that's gonna come here and we're gonna take a vote and do it. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I just feel that if we are being asked to take a vote, that we have all the information so that we can make the best decision possible, because we all want to do what's best for the town.
Another thing is, see, as I explained the situation, whether you can be pessimistic or optimistic. However, these people are new, they don't have experience with the town board. So these people, when they get in and they talk to employees and figure it out what they do, this is the main objective. Because when I came in here, right, I didn't know anything, but all of you helped me out, and that's made me build my skill. Now we have two more people coming in who does not have experience previously how the town operate.
The
So-
former board member?
No, I'm talking about Fantini and Nancy.
Okay.
So if they come in and they have to have some kind of experience, so they need to talk to employees or the supervisors how the daily operations run. That's all I'm saying. I hope I answer your question, but I again would respectfully request all of you, if you give us permission to build a mailbox, that's going to address your security concern.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, based on what you just said, what was the reason for having a transition committee?
Okay. This is what my understanding. And if I cannot answer something now, I can give you answer later. But if you see the New York City election, if you see City of Albany election, when there is a team of people come in, they always make a transition team. It's just building the accountability and how the job or operation is being done. And there's new people coming and they're gonna share their roles and responsibility, how they did work and what happened. That's all. This is what my understanding.
Well, that's a mayor's position. A mayor of New York City has a lot of appointments that are strictly the mayor's appointments. That's not the case here.
Again, I'm saying is, see, right now, there are too many people coming in, and in order to get their experience and working with the team, they need some information, and the transition team is important since they are coming in, taking the new responsibility, and if they wanted to build this way, I don't see any problem with that, but
Yeah. Well, it would just seem to me that as you get into office, you certainly have every right to meet with department heads and people in specialized positions, because that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about people in specialty positions. They have the academic background, licenses, certifications, experience, many of whom have been working here and possibly other municipalities for many, many years, some close to retirement. it would seem to me that they would be able to get a sense of their performance and extensive experience from you personally as somebody who's worked with them for a couple of years, and from meeting with them and asking to see their credentials when they're in the job, as opposed to a heavy-handed reapply or else way of going about things.
Well, this is what the transition team decided. I may take it back and consider talking to them and come back with a valid reason. For me, the valid reason is since group of people are coming and they are appointed position and they wanted to see exactly who does what, and obviously skill is very important. I echo your comment. Experiences matter if you do that kind of job, and if you're leading any department head, obviously the experience is the most thing that counted. So I exactly don't know the whole plan of the transition team. So that's all I know, and I can, as soon as I hear more, I'll share with you all of you.
Well, experience is one component. Having the proper academic background, certifications, and licenses, that's a whole different matter. So these aren't positions where you can just take somebody out of any industry and pluck them into one of these positions. These are, as I said before, specialized positions. So again, I don't see the reason. Now, the example you gave, if you want to compare us to the new mayor of New York City, God bless you. Maybe he's on your transition team. I don't know. He might be, because we've seen this show before, just a few years ago, that led to 2 resignations of town board members from this board. Out of 5, 2 resigned, and they're involved again. So, as your press release stated, so we've seen this show before. We know what's going to take place, and this is a heavy-handed message to alert people what's going to take place. And if that's what they want to do, that's fine. That's up to them. But I made it clear online this weekend. I'll make it clear again tonight. As far as the folks up here, as far as the elected officials, absent Stephanie, and myself are part-time positions. It's just speaking for myself. If I left today, I'll be just fine. I'm not worried about me. But employees in very crucial positions who are seemingly put on notice to reapply for their jobs, who have the specialties that I spoke of earlier, the background, the academics, the licenses, the certifications, that they would be expected to reapply and may or may not be hired. That won't stand. I won't see anybody's career prematurely ended or ruined because some people have retribution because they don't like the way things turned out a few years ago when they tried to take over the town and they end up having to resign. That was their own fault, nobody else's. So, your comments aside, and I take your comments at face value. We've become to know one another and work with each other over the last couple of years. I've known you to be a stand-up guy. Why your name is on a release like that, I have no idea. Well, I do have an idea. Others like to stay in the background who are actually pushing the train. So I feel bad that you were placed in that position. But that being said, any attacks on any of our employees will not go down quietly. the day it happens or many years after, they will not go down quietly. And that's not aimed at you, but something I made very clear online, and I absolutely mean it. Some of them are here tonight. And what they've invested in this town and what the work that they've done for many years, they're apolitical. They don't get involved in politics, and which is to their credit, and certainly nothing that we expect from them to get involved with politics. So, anybody else
Yeah.
have anything? Yes, Ms. Waller.
Thank you. As a very senior member of the board and a person who may spend more time with employees, maybe than any other member, a couple of things I'd like to address to you. You addressed the town. Let's think about the town, the citizens of the town, who we serve, who maybe not notice the everyday things that we give to them. The recreational programs, perhaps, that they take advantage of from a very hardworking crew of people who work hard here every single day in every single season to have a perfect program that fits every single citizen of our town. They come educated. They come dedicated to every age level and provide services that you all can and probably do attend. You take advantage every time we have to work on something from planning. You see the pages and pages and pages that come from that department or the things that we have to study, that he has to present to us, that we have to learn before we have to vote on something. And he has to know that because he's been educated on that. And he has to spend every day not working on the one thing or the two things a week that we have to get, but he works every day on many of those projects and should not be overlooked. And we get the same thing with zoning. We have people who take care of the acres and acres and acres of property that we keep begging about in all kinds of weather. And we expect them of them. And we drive through our parks and we admire it and we see the trees and we see that the golf courses are taken care of and the parks are taken care of and the trails are taken care of. And do we fail to notice? Yes. When you talk about the people in the town of Clifton Park, do they notice? Well, maybe they do, maybe they don't. But there are people who are assigned to head those departments and they're employees that work in those departments. And there's also a lot of volunteers, by the way, who take time to go out and do work in each of these areas.
Councilman, I actually not disagreeing with you. I think we are taking it too far there.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
so-
not even
so
started yet.
What I'm saying is we are not discrediting anybody. We appreciate, at the beginning of my statement, I said, we appreciate every employee. We appreciate our expertise. If the experience they bring, everybody, every department. So I'm
What do you think when they have to send resumes?
that's why I'm exactly, this is what I said. I'll take it back, get the information for you, and send it back, because this is a team, it's a transition team, and from the transition team, whatever is gonna come back, if I cannot explain well, I'll bring it back to you. But at this point, I think we should not discuss further. Let's move on. Whatever the statement I issued, I explained, and you have valid question. I'm not disregarding any of them. I'm gonna come back, and if we have anything, reasonable information, we'll get back to you and send it to you, all of you. But again, this is a town board. We don't make decision unilaterally. We work as a team and it's caused by democratic body. So whatever change is, you can express, you can wish many things. I wish I can fly, but you cannot fly. But the thing is that you can propose something. It's not going to happen without. It's not going to happen without uh, having a board, putting together a plan, discuss about it. Because it's not something that I ask for something. I want candy and I'm getting candy. It's not that.
And why is your transition committee politically loaded?
Again, I'm not saying it's.
Why is your transition committee politically loaded?
What do you mean by politically loaded?
They're all Democrats.
So we are all Republican here. I'm Democrat. I myself. Is it a big
Why
deal?
is your transition committee politically loaded?
We
If
are-
it's supposed to be fair and just and the transition,
Councilwoman,
this is not political.
I-
We don't want to play well together.
I would offer you to the transition committee. Would you like to be a member of that? Okay.
Thank you.
I'm done. I am so done.
Um,
Or I could go another half hour.
we can move forward with that. I mean, we can discuss as much as we can. We are not bringing any good fruit here. All of us,
I don't know about that.
express our opinion. Mr. Agita, Councilman Agita, Women Agita expressed their opinion. Councilman Morale expressed their opinion.
With all due respect, you brought it up.
I brought it, explain to you, and we just have our information session, and we did talk about it. I think we should move forward.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing to be worried about it or get so serious about it. This is what I feel. Okay, thank you.
Wow. I have to disagree with you on that. It's very serious for those for the people in those positions. So, yes, it's very serious.
We already discussed, right? All of us talk about it.
Well, you mentioned about seriousness. It's very serious for people in those positions.
Once again, I'm going to explain one more time. Nothing goes as a decision without we collectively make a decision. All of us make a decision. This is what democracy stands for. Someone can give their idea. The
Right.
idea came in. It doesn't mean that we have to make all right away that would go after it.
Right.
Because this is the board, we're going to make a decision.
Right.
So I express my concern, I express whatever I released, because this goes under my name, I express it, and I hear from all of you. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Good. Yeah. Well, your press release notwithstanding, which you shared with us, I think this morning, was it? But the initial press release from the party was, Democrat Party was heavy-handed, was threatening, and talking about these employees having to reapply is, I think, incredibly over the top, unprecedented, and like I said, we've seen this show before, just a few years ago. So it's just a continuation of what the Gazette labeled the coup attempt, which was an attempt to attack and misrepresent fellow elected officials, town employees, and now this is the next phase of that, period. That's what it is. So let's just call it for what it is. I'll take, like I said, I'll take your comments at face value, and we'll wait to see what the actions are. Any other comments on that or any other matter? Yes, Councilwoman Reed.
To quickly wrap things up, I would look forward to hearing from everyone who's considering being involved in this transition. I think, anyone who wants to be involved should feel free to contact us and get involved with the town. And as when I took this position, and I'm sure it was the same for you, we had meetings with each department head and learned about the departments, what they do, what their needs are from the board. And I would expect nothing different for the new council members. So I hope that if they have any concerns in that regard, they can be assured that, again, we all work together and every department head would be more than happy to meet with them and discuss the everyday dealings, the issues of their departments. Of course, again, you have plenty of experience at this point, so I'm sure you'll work alongside them and help the new members get up to speed. And moving on, as I mentioned before, we have such a diverse group of dedicated, experienced volunteers who love this town and love working behind the scenes. Again, the volunteers work for nothing and work so hard. They're spending their nights coming to meetings, their weekends at town events. Again, look at this room of the residents that took their time out of their evening to join us tonight, listen to what's going on, probably going to speak later. And I just want to, again, acknowledge and appreciate everyone who gets involved with our community and welcome anyone else who's interested. On that note, last week, we actually held a collaborative meeting with the chairs of various town committees. We have the town committees, and we even have unofficial town committees such as Friends of Clifton Park Open Space, Friends of Historic Roots Tavern, and then we have our town committees, the Environmental Conservation, the Green Committee, the Tree Committee, Historic Preservation Committee. Again, all volunteers that have so many different ideas and such diverse experience to bring to the table, diverse viewpoints, fresh ideas, and it's so great to see everyone working together. So we held a meeting with the chairs of all of those committees where everyone discussed what their committee goals were, what they're doing, what their plans are for the future, and we're going to continue to hold those meetings several times a year going forward. So I would also mention that, anyone who's interested in learning about the way things work and meeting our volunteer members and seeing what these committees actually do and how they are contributing significantly to this town, I would invite anyone to join those meetings. I guess our next one is going to be in January. I won't make an announcement. I don't have the exact date off the top of my head, but I know we will have our next one in January without all of our volunteer committee chairs. And I think, again, very educational, and they're a great way because all these different committees, we don't want them to work as silos. We want them all to work together because many of them have interests and have goals for the town that actually overlap. So it is really important, again, as we talk about collaboration and transparency. So I do want to make the point that we are doing that, and I'm so proud of all of our volunteer members, and I look forward to seeing more of that in the future. As I said, we'll have another meeting in January and have more going forward, and all are welcome.
Of course, thank you. I agree with you. And one other thing I wanted to mention that, as you said, the new board members are coming. So whoever the new board member are going to come in, I appreciate if they can also work with you.
Absolutely.
And Councilman Morali. And Councilman Morali, thank you, because when I joined, I believe we had a meeting in the cafe shop. You explained me how the operation ran. The same way, I expect the same thing from you, all of you. That whoever coming in, obviously they will get my help, but at the same token, I want them to also meet you and give them whatever help necessary. I expect the same thing, whatever Councilman Morali did for me, and I really appreciate that. Okay?
Yes, I think we all want what's best for our town, all of us.
And as I said, we can have different ideas, but the bottom line is we work for the town, people send us to work together and give something to the community, to the citizen of this town. And that's all my intention. Thank you.
Yeah, we don't have, for the many volunteers that I have voted for over 26 years, we've never had a political litmus test. for those volunteers. Toby's here tonight. I have no idea what party Toby's in. So, yeah, so there is no, but we just want interested people that are willing to put the time in, because a lot of our volunteer boards and committees do require a great deal of time and effort. It's not only just attending meetings, it's reviewing materials between meetings and getting to the point where they can make an informed decision at a meeting, at a future meeting. So we have people of, I'm sure, all political thoughts, leanings, backgrounds on all of our committees, and but they all bring a different level of expertise in various areas. So as a group, they come to a very informed and fair decision based on the fact that a lot of them do have different backgrounds, different knowledge bases, circles of influence, so on and so forth. And we do appreciate all of our volunteers that invest their time to make Clifton Park a better place. All right. Anything else? All right. All right, we have a number of resolutions this evening. Stephanie, if you could read through those, please.
A resolution authorizing Granicus to develop and deploy a
Government experience engagement cloud essentials platform for the town. Now therefore be it resolved that the town supervisor is authorized to execute any necessary agreements or documents to facilitate this project, subject to review and approval of the town attorney, and be it further resolved that the town board of Clifton Park hereby authorizes the payment of $4,095 to Granicus for the essential setup, configuration, and training milestones 2 and 3, as outlined in the invoice to be paid from General Fund Town Hall Operations Computer, and be it further resolved that the town staff are authorized to process these payments in accordance with town financial payment procedures. A resolution authorizing the installation of no parking anytime signs on Boyack Road. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Clifton Park, town board hereby authorizes the town highway department to install no parking anytime signs on the west side of Boyack Road heading south within 200 feet of the approach to the center of the intersection with Jonathan Drive in accordance with MUTCD standards and recommendations of the Highway Safety Committee. A resolution appointing Toby Watkins as a member to the Historic Preservation Commission. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Clifton Park hereby appoints Toby Watkins to the Historic Preservation Commission for a term to be determined in accordance with the town code and commission bylaws, and be it further resolved that the town clerk shall notify Mr. Watkins of his appointment and provide all necessary documentation and onboarding materials to support his participation in the commission's work. A resolution authorizing addendum number 1 to the agreement with Community Planning and Environmental Associates for the Clifton Park Agriculture and Farmland Protection Plan and transferring funds to support the expanded scope of work. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby authorizes addendum number 1 to the agreement with Community Planning and Environmental Associates, increasing the contract amount by $14,320 for completion of the Clifton Park Agricultural and Farmland Protection Plan as outlined in the attached scope of work, and be it further resolved that the town board authorizes a budget transfer of $2,320 from General Fund Engineering to General Fund Engineering Other Contractual to support the expanded scope of work, and be it further resolved that the total of $14,320 be charged to General Fund Engineering Other Contractual, and be it further resolved that the supervisor is authorized to sign addendum number 1 to the agreement with CP&EA, and that eligible costs incurred under this addendum shall be submitted for reimbursement under the awarded Farmland Protection Plan grant from the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets. A resolution authorizing alcoholic beverages to be served at a gathering to be held at the Locust Lane Clubhouse on January 23rd, 2026. Now therefore be it resolved that Randy Johnson and the Scano Elementary School staff are hereby authorized to serve beer and or wine at a gathering at Locust Lane Clubhouse on January 23rd, 2026.
from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m., consistent with the terms of the permit application received in the Parks and Recreation Office. A resolution authorizing the replacement of a 35-foot aluminum streetlight pole with 10-foot arm on Wall Street. Now therefore be it resolved that Mr. Clemens is authorized to hire T&J Companies to replace the damaged Wall Street 35-foot streetlight pole and its 10-foot arm, and be it further resolved that the comptroller is authorized to pay the amount of $14,500 to T&J Companies from Special Districts Lighting Maintenance, and be it further resolved that the comptroller is authorized to increase 2025 budget revenues, general fund insurance recoveries, and increase expenditures to Special Districts Lighting Maintenance by $14,500. A resolution declaring a public emergency pursuant to General Municipal Law, Section 103-4, for the replacement and rerouting of the vent pipe and blower assembly for the unit heaters in the highway mechanic shop. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board determines that the replacement and rerouting of the vent pipe and blower assembly for the unit heaters in the highway mechanic shop, as determined on October 22nd, 2025, constitutes an emergency for procurement purposes under Section 103-4 of General Municipal Law, and be it further resolved that Mr. Clemens is authorized to hire P&J Corp. To replace the vent pipes and blower assembly of the damaged unit heaters, and be it further resolved that the comptroller is authorized to pay the amount of $5,456 to P&J Corp. From General Fund Highway Traffic Safety Garage repairs. A resolution awarding the construction contract for the paving of an existing trail along Kings Road in Clifton Park pursuant to competitive bid. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board accepts the recommendation of the Director of Buildings, Parks and Recreation, and hereby awards the quote for the trail paving project, BDB paving, at a cost not to exceed $7,740 to be paid from General Fund Trails Contractual Equipment. A resolution authorizing the supervisor to execute a 3-year contract for telephone and internet service with First Light. Now therefore be it resolved that the supervisor is authorized to execute the attached 36-month term service order form and contract with First Light, 12 Metro Park Road, Albany, New York. A resolution adopting the 2026 budget for the town of Clifton Park. Now therefore be it resolved that the 2026 Town of Clifton Park budget is hereby adopted.
All right, if you can read the heading, we'll consider each one individually.
Okay. Resolution number 248 of 2025, a resolution authorizing Granicus to develop and deploy a government experience engagement cloud essentials platform for the town.
Okay, John?
Yes, at the beginning of the year, milestone 1 began with the setup of the Granicus platform. Milestones 2 and 3 were now at $4,095, just completed. Basically, the onboarding of town staff is 100% complete. The platforms have been fully operational since the summer. We've been making minor tweaks and revisions as we've gone along, and we look forward to continuing using the platform as a communications tool that engages citizens within the community on projects the town is either a stakeholder in or taking the lead on.
Yeah, it's good. The program's been great. Gives folks a very condensed amount of material that they can go to repeatedly in one place to find information about specific projects. So that it's so I think that has improved the availability of information for people in Clifton Park, because they can figure out where to go exactly to find what they're interested in. In the past, all the information was out there, but it may have been coming at different times and in different ways. This way, all the information's in one place on an individual project. So having that interface and dissemination of information and updates on a regular basis to residents, I think, has been a big improvement in the information availability for people. All right, any discussion? Okay, Stephanie?
Councilman Morelli?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reed?
Yes.
Councilman Minier?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wallet? Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
Resolution number 249 of 2025, a resolution authorizing the installation of no parking anytime signs on Boyack Road.
So moved.
Okay, John, this was approved by the Highway Safety Committee?
Yes, as a recommendation for the town board for consideration. They've used the spring and summer months to observe conditions. While some of the conditions have improved with vegetation being cleared back from the line of sight that was partially obstructing views from the intersection looking north, there were still concerns of vehicles blocking adequate sight distance.
Good, thank you. All right, any discussion on that item? All right, Stephanie?
Councilman Morelli?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reed?
Yes.
Councilman Minier?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wallet? Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
Resolution number 250 of 2025, a resolution appointing Toby Watkins as a member to the Historic Preservation Commission.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Morelli?
Yeah, Toby's here tonight, as is our chairwoman of the Historical Preservation Commission, Linda Seymour. The commission itself held a vote, and Toby was unanimously endorsed by the commission. Toby has been involved with the commission for the past several months and has a vast interest in getting involved with the preserving the historical character of our town. Toby's been involved in many volunteer activities, most notably was the Exalted Ruler of the Elks for some time, and if anyone is familiar with that organization or is an elk, they knows that entire organization is based on doing volunteer efforts throughout the town and throughout the region. So we are very fortunate to have Toby and his willingness to join the commission. I wholeheartedly endorse him and hope that the board will vote unanimously to add him to the commission.
And thank you for stepping forward, Toby, to join the group and further our efforts in historic preservation. The commission's done a great job. We've met a lot of goals and priorities that were very important to the town. We appreciate the entire commission and the work that they do, helping us prioritize what those goals will be. And we know you'll fit in seamlessly and add a lot to the discussion, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Toby. I appreciate it that you working with us, and thank you so much, and welcome to our board.
Okay. Stephanie?
Councilman Morelli?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reed?
Yes.
Councilman Minier?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wallet? Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
Resolution number 250.
Did was number 4? Was that the one that?
That's the one we
had an
Yes.
issue.
Resolution number 251 of 2025, a resolution authorizing addendum number 1 to the agreement with Community Planning and Environmental Associates for the Clifton Park Agricultural and Farmland Protection Plan and transferring funds to support the expanded scope of work.
So moved.
Second.
John?
Yes, the town earlier this year engaged in a farmland and agricultural protection plan. The consultant has been working with the steering committee and engaging the public throughout the past year. Originally, we budgeted 8 committee meetings. We're up to 12, but every one of those meetings has been highly productive. It's been one of the most engaging comprehensive planning processes I've been in, not only with the steering committee, but with the agricultural committee and the general public at large. And as a result of that, it comes at a cost to synthesize all that information, but we have so much information that we're looking to expand the scope to also include what's known as a story map to assist with telling that story, not only within Clifton Park, but to the larger agricultural community in New York State, potential markets that can tap into our agricultural community from an economic development standpoint to benefit both. So that's basically what that expanded scope is at this point in time. And I'd like to thank the town board who's actively been engaged with the project, Councilman Morelli, Councilwoman Reed, especially Supervisor Barrett. We regularly attended meetings on and off based on availability, and their input's also been valuable to the planning process.
Yeah, and the public meeting where we invited in people from the agriculture farming community, I think was fantastic. All the meetings have been good, but that one in particular, people were split into different tables and there was a constant discussion on various topics, and just going from table to table, I was able to hear some great discussion, answer a few questions here and there. But I think at the end of this process, based on the fact that the meetings and that public discussion was so engaging and meaningful, at the end of the day, we're going to have a fantastic plan to move forward. We've already permanently preserved 4 farms as part of our open space and farmland preservation efforts. I think as we move forward, having this plan in place will help us make even further progress working with large landowners and the agricultural community. And I want to thank Councilwoman Reed in particular for her leadership on this effort. And thank you very much. Did you want to?
Well, I would just mention, this steering committee that John mentioned is another example of the volunteerism and collaboration which directly benefits our community and will have ripple effects on a more regional level going forward. As you've heard, they've made a great time commitment and have done such great work, and I'm looking forward to continue working with them and see what else we can get accomplished here.
John, thank you.
John, spring 2026 is when we anticipate like a comprehensive list of recommendations.
Yes, what we're expecting is the consultant's going to be working through the holiday season, basically synthesizing that draft plan and executive summary. From there, the steering committee will take a look at it, will deliver it to the town board with a recommendation. That should open up at least a 45-day public comment period, of which electronic versions and hard copies will be made available to the public in publicly accessible places, typically the library, town hall, to locations where we can put hard copies. From there, we will also send it to the county agricultural review board, who has to also issue an approval as part of the plan under the state guidelines. We will then schedule a formal public hearing at the end of the 45-day comment period. We can review written comments and oral comments offered at that time, at that meeting. From there, if there's any necessary deeds that need to be made between that draft document and final adoption, that should take place in about 30 days. So I would say final adoption, if we look at May of 2026, with a public hearing on or about sometime in March of 2026. That's a very realistic time period.
Thanks.
Good. Thank you, John. All right. Any vote? All right. Let's go.
Okay, Councilman Morelli?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reed?
Yes.
Councilman Minier?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wallace?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
Resolution number 252 of 2025, a resolution authorizing alcoholic beverages to be served at a gathering to be held at the Locust Lane Clubhouse on January 23rd, 2026.
Second.
Go right ahead.
Councilman Morelli?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reed?
Yes.
Councilman Minier?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wallace? Yes. Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
Resolution number 253 of 2025, a resolution authorizing the replacement of a 35-foot aluminum streetlight pole with 10-foot arm on Wall Street.
So moved.
All right, Dan, we have a pole to be replaced, right?
Yes, this pole was hit by a car. It was an accident report, so we know who did it. The pole was hit. The foundation of the pole, the base was ripped out of the ground, laying across the YMCA parking lot. So this is replacing that new light in that busy intersection there, Wall Street, Clifton Country Road.
Good. Good, good. Okay. Not good we had the accident, but they're okay, but good that we're getting it fixed. All right, discussion.
Councilman Rowley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reed?
Yes.
Councilwoman Air?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wallet? Yes. Supervisor Bear?
Yes,
Resolution number 254 of 2025, a resolution declaring a public emergency pursuant to General Municipal Law, Section 103-4, for the replacement and rerouting of the vent pipe and blower assembly for the unit heaters in the highway mechanic shop.
So moved.
okay, Dan?
Yeah, so this exhaust pipe on one of the unit heaters is going through the back wall of the highway mechanic's garage. And because of condensation and rust and where the way it was set up, it actually had a hole in the pipe, which burned some of the metal exterior of the building and was the gas, exhaust gas, going up into the eaves and big problem. So the whole thing had to be replaced, and the way the code is and stuff now, we had to move it without the side end, and the length was so long, we had to add an extra blower in the middle of it so it can be power vented all the exhaust out to the gable end of the building, so there's no chance of snow cleaning the chimney off again, or fumes going up into the eaves and into the building that way. So it has to have this in order to have heat, and those guys need heat in order to fix trucks.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right, very good. Any discussion?
Councilman Rowley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reed?
Yes.
Councilwoman Air?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wallet? Yes. Supervisor Bear?
Yes,
Resolution number 255 of 2025, a resolution awarding the construction contract for the paving of an existing trail along Kings Road in Clifton Park pursuant to competitive bid.
So moved.
okay. So we've constructed over 17 miles of trail since we began our trail and sidewalk initiative. This trail was early in that process, so it has some age on it, and it's getting in tough shape, but doesn't need to be completely rebuilt. So we want to catch it before that happens. What they'll do, I believe, Dan, is shim off the top and put a top coat on?
Correct.
Okay. So this is along Kins Road. It attaches two neighborhoods and has been a great part of our trail network for many years. And we have a few projects that are in the planning queue as we speak. So we have a trail that's going, trail and sidewalk that'll go from the Vistas north, or west, I should say, of the roundabout on 146. It'll run east and end at the Shen entrance on 146. So that'll complement the pedestrian access we have on the southern side of 146. So this will be on the northern side. We'll also fill the gap that we have on Bishop Ferry Road on the east side. We have the trail, we've had a trail for quite some time on the west side of Bishop Ferry. On the east side, we've had a gap. That gap will be filled as part of that project, so that'll give us a full trail on both sides of Bishop Ferry. And we also have additional sidewalks that will be added in along Clifton Country Road. So after that project is done, we will have full pedestrian access on both sides of Clifton Country. And we also have a trail on Hubbs Road that's currently under construction. So our trail system continues to grow. Many people enjoy the trails, not only for recreation, but from getting from one place to another in a safe manner. And all of the inter-neighborhood connections we've made have been incredibly valuable for people getting back and forth between neighborhoods. Kids visiting friends, makes it easier to get to a park that might be a little bit down from your neighborhood, whatever the case may be. All of these important connections and build out of our trail network has been invaluable to the people of Clifton Park. Any further discussion? All right.
Councilman Rowley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reed?
Yes.
Councilwoman Air?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wallet? Yes. Supervisor Bear?
Yes,
Resolution number 256 of 2025, a resolution authorizing the supervisor to execute a 3-year contract for telephone and internet service with First Light.
So moved.
Second.
All right, so this is simply to expand our bandwidth, to make sure that we're accommodating all of the current and future activity. Any discussion?
I think this
Yes.
is a great idea because it's going to transfer 1 gigabyte by 1 gigabyte transfer limit.
Mhm.
The internet is going to be much faster. Also, if you do any video recording or the kind of live conference, so everything is going to be great.
Mhm.
So this is a great idea.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? All right, Stefan?
Councilman Morelli?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reed?
Yes.
Councilman Minear?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wallet? Yes. Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
Resolution number 257 of 2025, a resolution adopting the 2026 budget for the town of Clifton Park.
So moved.
Second.
All right, so we're getting to the end of the budget process tonight. By town law, we are supposed to have the budget approved by November 20, so we're a few days early. At our last meeting, we added funding for a number of projects, improvements to the dog park, Country Knolls pool, playground, property area, roof, the building at the pool and playground area requires a new roof. We have the church that rents property from us in that building, and the carpet is quite old. So replacing the carpet as well as paving of the parking lot, which is definitely needed. Also, the Barney Road pool building also needs a roof. We built that new building. Time flies, doesn't it? Yeah. Talk about these trails and roofs that are, I remember when we constructed them, and they're getting on in age. That must mean I'm getting on in age, I assume, but no. But the roof at the Barney Road pool building, which is obviously heavily used during the summertime. Country Knolls is used year-round, but we do need a roof there as well. Paving on either side of the Whipple Bridge. I know that's something that has been brought to our attention by our Buildings and Grounds Department and others. Celebrations events, we had some wonderful celebrations coming up, and we want to make sure there's some money set aside for that. Resurfacing of the basketball court at the Common, Veterans Park pickleball court fencing, some additional fencing to provide some barriers to the ball getting into from one court to another, from the courts into the picnic area, so on and so forth. Garnsey Park Pavilion and some signage. Garnsey Park has been an important part of our parks network for many years now, and totals 240 acres as we've made the initial purchase and added to it twice. So Garnsey is a heavily used park just off 146. Planning and engineering for Heritage Square. Heritage Square is what we've dubbed the area where the Grooms Tavern is. We have the Grooms Tavern. We purchased a house and property in between the Grooms Tavern and the Grange. So now, looking at that entire area holistically, we have preserved the Grange and that the Grooms Tavern. That's been a valuable historic preservation project for the town of Clifton Park. We have many events there, public and private. But now that we have the property in between the Grooms Tavern and the Grange, gives us a lot of different options. But it's important we really study what those options are and where we want to go in the future with that entire area. There's the opportunities are endless there, and very much looking forward to that analysis. We've spoken here at town board meetings about improving our senior transportation software. We've already had a number of conversations with Captain and community groups as well. So I think we can make some headway there, as well as additional security measures for public buildings. So those were some items that were added to the budget at our last meeting. Any discussion or other items?
I do have two items, Supervisor. When we had that public hearing, I was remiss in addressing a request from the VFW Veterans of Foreign Wars Post. As meant, I think everyone up here, I'm sure the audience can appreciate the VFW does a great job giving to our community in both volunteerism as well as grants to veterans in need. So I would ask that we increase their budget line by $1,000, and also Councilman Menier and I, who both co-liaise with the tree committee, were asked to increase the budget for the tree committee by $400. I believe they had reviewed some of their goals and objectives for 2026 and had made that request. So I would make a motion that we amend the 2026 budget to increase it by $1,400, $1,000 for the VFW, and $400 for the tree committee.
Okay. Do you want to second that?
Yeah.
Okay. Discussion on the on that item. Okay. All right. So the list that I just ran through, that was added at our last meeting. These items were brought up by Councilman Morelli, Councilman Menier. So if we can vote on those two items directly and then vote on the entire budget. So we could have a roll call on that request.
On the amendment?
Yep.
Yep, okay. Councilman Morelli?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reed?
Yes.
Councilman Menier?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wallet?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
Okay.
If there's no other discussion, if there is any discussion, I just want to thank the staff and the department heads. Mark, who heads our controller's office, great job again with the budgets. We've talked about the realities of today, particularly related to the tax cap and the pressure that is applied on not only our budget but all budgets. And we've seen significant tax increases throughout the region. Here in Clifton Park, we've been able to remain without a general fund town tax, and we rank out of the last rankings from the state controller, 911, 933 towns in taxes. So we're almost last. And when you consider the services close to home and all of the programs and services that are offered by the town of Clifton Park to people of all ages, Clifton Park is the best value that you're going to find for your money, and we're very proud of that. Okay, that's all I had. Go ahead.
Councilman Morelli?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reed?
Yes.
Councilman Menier?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wallet? Yes. Supervisor Barrett?
Yes. Any other business to come before the board? All right. We'll go to public privilege. If you'd like to speak on a town matter, please raise your hand. We'll ask that you come forward, state your name and address for the record, and please keep it to 5 minutes or less. Yes. Carol.
Hi, my name is Carol Hug. I live at 10 Jonathan Drive in Clifton Park. I had no intentions of speaking tonight, but I got very upset at what was going on at the beginning of this meeting. And Councilman Menier, my questions are mainly for you. I read your press release on Facebook, and you sat here tonight and you said that if you didn't know, you would have to find out. As the source of that press release, you are the one to be held accountable for the information in that release. My questions to you are, where are the members of this committee tonight? I don't see them here. One of the ways that you can learn what's going on in our town is to attend these meetings. Correct?
Go on.
Okay. My next question is, what is a transition committee?
Are you done? Can I answer both? First of all, I don't know. I did not post it in Facebook. It was a press release. I don't know. What did you see it in Facebook? My statement was released as a press release. I did not post it myself in Facebook. Anyway, second thing is the transition committee, they are not here. Obviously, I would request them in future. They gotta be here if they have a plan.
Okay. Your name is on that press release. It was released by you,
Yes.
okay? Should a transition committee not consist of the people who are currently on this board?
I think I'm one of them, and we can always extend it. Because
Why would Supervisor Barrett not be asked to be on the transition committee?
we can certainly discuss and figure it out.
I'd like to know the reason to that,
Yes.
because I feel that Supervisor Barrett, Councilwoman Wallowit, and Councilman Morelli, and obviously our town clerk who does so much, all of these people do so much for our town, should be included. Also, with my background and my history, if I was a town employee, let me tell you, right now, what I would be doing is I would be home and I would be updating my resume, not to submit to the town of Clifton Park, but to find a new job, because your press release is very, very threatening. We're going to lose people who have years and years of dedication and service to this town because they're fearful they're going to lose their jobs. You tell them not to be stressed, but reading that post, I'm fearful for them.
I think on my press release, there is nothing saying that you're going to lose your job. If you read my press release, I have a copy of it.
I have your press release right here. It says non-union, non-civil service employees, as well as the individuals currently serving on various town boards or committees who wish to continue in their roles are encouraged to submit a resume and a letter expressing their desire to continue.
So basically, next year, to move forward, they're asking to submit your resume. And
Why?
I don't think it's a threat. If someone asks you to submit your resume and if you
You don't find that fretful? You don't find that your job is being questioned by a committee who has no knowledge of what you do here is not threatening? I absolutely find that threatening, and I would be updating my resume. And these are hardworking individuals. I am a lifelong resident of the town of Clifton Park, and I've known many of these people for many years. And I'd be fearful for my job if I was here in the town, based upon these email releases. And your name, it says, right on this.
Yes.
It says, press statement from council member Zabid Munir. You're accountable for what was put out. Your name is on it.
Of course, I'm accountable, and I.
But you're saying you're not, that you didn't do this.
No, I didn't say that I didn't. This is under my name. I thought like I'm talking about the Facebook article, because there's two things went out. There is something else I saw in the Facebook. Whatever I have, you read it correctly, and this is what I issued. And obviously, this is a statement. You can make your comment on the statement, and obviously we can rectify whatever. That's what the
I just feel you need to stop threatening town employees and involve our current board in your transition. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes,
Hi, I'm Joanne Coons. I live at 4 Balsam Lane. I'm just going to share a little story that kind of triggered me. I've taught for 13 years at Hudson Valley Community College, and all of a sudden my email was cut off in September. And I was like, hey, what's going on? So I called IT, and they said, oh, they didn't reschedule your class. So I lost my job. Nobody reached out to me. Nobody asked me for and what a reason. And it was kind of like, that's the way business happens these days. So I'm not saying that that's what's going on here. I'm just saying that if people ask for a resume so they can, have new people coming on board, get to know them maybe through paper, that might be the intent. I don't know. I'm not part of the decision-making process, but I don't know how unreasonable that was, really. It's just good to have data on people, and I don't know if they have data on people, and maybe that's just the way they do business, but just throwing that out there. It's, I don't know about threats, because I don't know, it's just good to communicate, and paper resumes communicate who you are and what you do. So, just an idea.
Thank you so much. And I, basically what I issued that letter, I never thought it's gonna be a threat, but it depends how we read it, how we take it.
well, I don't know how your former employer does business, but that's not how the town of Clifton Park has historically done business during my tenure here.
I'm not saying you are, I'm just
So-
saying that I don't.
Well, no, obviously,
how
I'm
reasonable
not,
asking for
no.
a resume is.
Well, that can be done very easily,
Right.
instead
No problem.
of a heavy-handed threatening way.
Well.
Anyone else? Linda?
Civilly, thank you very much for commenting on the work and the hours that volunteers spend in this community. Oh, Linda Seymour, Historic Preservation Commission.
Oh, we know who you are.
Well, I know, it's for the record, right? And we really appreciate that. I can honestly say in the 8 or 9, 10 years that I've been on the commission, except for myself, I do not know the political affiliation of anybody. I've never been paid $1. Our mission is what we focus on, and tonight we welcome another member who is going to bring not only a love of history, but energy, enthusiasm, organizational skills, the ability to communicate with a lot of different people, top notch, as is everyone on our commission. The backgrounds that they have, it's astounding. And as we sat around the table the other day and listened to all the chairs of the various committees, one is the past director of the Audubon Society in New York State, and all kinds of fantastic engineers, teachers, just remarkable to know the background and the wealth of information that we have in this community.
Yeah.
I encourage Mr. Fontini and Ms. Bellamy to come to one of our meetings. We meet the third Thursday of the month, and they can ask us what we do, what our backgrounds are, and why we want to be on the committee. But when Mr. Watkins was applying for our endorsement for this commission, he wrote a paragraph of interest. Why did he want to be on? And in that interest, he gave a little bit of his background. But I was reluctant to ask him for his resume. That, as you had mentioned earlier, that's a data thing that is spread around that I didn't feel I had the right as the chair of the commission to do that. He did it. It went to you individually, but it did not. It was not disseminated out around the town at all. I would make a recommendation that when you go back and speak with the transition team, that you ask them to relook at requiring resumes from all of us. I'm not so sure that all of my commission members would be willing to do that at this point, but rather just come and meet with us. and do it for all the commissions and all the committees, you will absolutely be astounded at the wealth of information and background that people have in this community.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your input. Obviously, I will take it back and consider this.
Thank
And
you so much.
also, I'd like to thank you for your service. I work with Green Committee and Tree Committee, and I
Yes.
can see how much dedicated these people are. Green Committee people, Tree Committee, these are the committees that seriously serve on that. And these people have so much dedication, and I'm very sure all other committees are like that. And thank you again.
So
Appreciate
astounded. Thank you, and thank you for it. And welcome, Toby.
Thank you.
And with all that, welcome, Toby. Aren't you glad you got appointed tonight? Yeah, I thought it was gonna be a boring meeting. Yeah, and that's a suggestion I made in the beginning of the meeting, Linda, was to, there's different ways to go about things. And, but this was, again, I take Councilman Manier's comments at face value, but there was a reason to go about it this way. I don't think it was his idea, but there was a reason to go about it this way, which is a shame. Anyone else that would like to speak tonight? Okay. I'll entertain a
Motion
motion
to
to
adjourn.
adjourn.
I have one other comment for everybody. Thank you for all your feedback. Life is a learning experience, right? As you go along, you learn. It's not that you're going to stop there. I sincerely appreciate the comment you made. And also, all the employees, once again, it's a sincere appreciation from my heart, because I've been working 2 years. I know how hard they work. Sometimes maybe the word games come out differently, but again, always there is a room for improvement. That's why we are the best town. And once again, thank you, and thank you for everybody's feedback. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. Did you make a motion?
I did like to make a motion for adjourn.
And I could just say
Oh,
one more
yes,
time, just
yes.
for the record, for anyone watching, listening, reading in the future, as you said, there are many extremely experienced, educated, capable people serving on our committees. However, I don't want that to get in the way of anyone who is interested in serving their community. I don't want you to feel that you can't step forward if you feel you're not qualified, okay? If you have the interest and the enthusiasm to work for your community to make it a better place, that makes you qualified. So please, I have always encouraged people I know on all sides of the political spectrum to get involved, and I will just make that statement one more time. Everyone is welcome to get involved, because we're supposed to be working together, and as long as you want what's best for this town, you're gonna have different ideas from the person next to you, and that's great. Let's work together, let's use those ideas, let's go back and forth, and let's work together for our community. Thank you.
Yeah, when people have expressed interest in something like the Historic Preservation Commission or zoning board, and they'll say, well, gee, I don't have a background in zoning or history. I don't have a lot of experience. And I said, well, can you do research, site visits, discuss matters within a group? Can you study material and make a fair decision? Yes, you're qualified. But again, we have people from various backgrounds and expertise on the committees. Some of the people Linda just mentioned, you were referring to Dave Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Audubon, engineers, lawyers, people that work in every walk of life. So no, there is no special training that you need to serve as a volunteer. It's just a matter of, can you do all those things I just listed? And if you can, then, and if you do bring a certain expertise in zoning to the zoning board, great. That's even better. or if you have a background in history, working, if that was your profession, like John, for instance, that's great. But not completely necessary either. All right, so,
Want me to do it again?
Sure, sure.
Motion to adjourn?
All right.
Second.
Okay, Councilman Morales?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reed?
Yes.
Councilman Madere?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wallet? Councilman Barrett?
Yes, thank you.
Your training program book.